Gender and Sexuality Justice, an Atlanta DSA Socialist Night School presentation. The first half of this video asks the general question, why does DSA prioritize sexuality and gender justice? In the second half, we'll look at DSA's specific demands concerning reproductive justice, anti-queer violence, LGBTQIA-friendly healthcare, decriminalization of sex work, state-enforced heteronormativity, and domestic and care workers. The video ends with several open questions as an invitation to further thought. Some say that focusing on gender and sexuality justice is a losing strategy for socialists. This slide is supposed to make you feel feelings. What we have here is an article covering a very sex-positive social event. Will Menaker of Chapo Trap House was present. The image, cut off here, is two young women making out. Are you feeling feelings yet? Look, this stuff can be difficult to talk about, whether we're talking about biological sex, sexuality, gender identity, or sexual behavior. Are you feeling feelings seeing our movement, a Bernie bro, linked with, well, if you read the article, there's a lot in there about I'm just saying. This stuff can be difficult to talk about. Some socialists say we shouldn't spend our time on issues related to sex. We should spend our time focusing on material gains for workers. But of course, how much a worker gets paid depends quite a lot on sex. The gender pay gap is a worldwide and well-documented phenomenon. Some socialists say we should focus on material conditions, not cultural issues. But what conditions are more material than those of life and death, and whether and under what circumstances you can have a child? The conditions of reproduction, not just of production, are material issues. And reproductive labor, not just pregnancy, but also child rearing and domestic and care work, is real work, real labor. Issues that have to do with sex and sexuality and sexual behavior, these are not issues that are just social issues. The HIV pandemic ranks among the greatest plagues known to history. Now, I would rather be fighting for wages and shelter, land and bread. But to unite and to win, we have to fight the right. And the right takes away our material rights, including the rights to bodily autonomy and mental integrity on the basis of who we are, our identities. Are we afraid that we'll alienate the average worker if we stand up for certain issues of sexuality and gender justice? Well, we can't choose what to fight for based on which identity group is in the numerical majority. And we don't. DSA fights for minorities, and it always has, so far as I've been able to tell. There are small minorities that we need to fight for, even if they are off-putting to the average worker in some of their ways of expressing pride. The queer community has a certain tradition of expressing pride in ways that some call revolting. That will put people off. But our issues, the issues of gender and sexual minorities, and of women, and of sex workers, will not wait until after the revolution. Those who dismiss women's issues and queer issues are telling on themselves. We should never be, as Angela Davis put it, caught in the ideological snare of insisting that one struggle, say black liberation, is absolutely more important than the other, say women's liberation. There is only one struggle, and the various aspects are inseparable. It's the job of leftist political theory to explain this universal struggle in all its very different particular manifestations, both in and out of the workplace. When we make excuses for not being in solidarity with an oppressed minority, we are confessing that we don't know how to explain how the particular struggle of their group is linked to the universal struggle of all those who suffer under capitalism. If we come to the reactionary conclusion that the left should not fight for sexuality and gender justice, then our reasoning has taken a wrong turn. Marx and Engels wrote extensively about forms of oppression and domination related to sex. They saw the exploitation of workers and the exploitation of women as part of the same system. As socialist feminists, we should too.
Closely on the heels of the newly formed women's choruses, gay men began to gather informally and sing. In the fall of 1978, a group of gay men banded together to form the San Francisco Gay Men's Chorus. Just a few weeks later, a tragic twist of fate brought them into the international spotlight.
On November 27th, San Francisco Mayor George Moscone and supervisor and gay rights activist Harvey Milk were assassinated.
In response to this horrific and heartbreaking crime, a candlelight vigil was organized on the steps of San Francisco City Hall, and the men of the Young Chorus gathered for their first impromptu and public performance. Thousands of people flocked to the vigil, and when CNN broadcast the banner San Francisco Gay Men's Chorus to the TV watching world, the LGBT choral movement took flight.
LGBT activist Holly Near penned "Singing for Our Lives" in her car on the way to the candlelight vigil. It was created in honor of Harvey Milk and was sung for the first time by the mourners gathered.